Hey guys, Dr. Eric Smith here. I have a big tip and an answer to a question a lot of people have and want to know is like, Doc, why does my weight keep fluctuating? Like, why does it keep going upside down and sideways, or it doesn't change, or it suddenly will drop, or suddenly will rise? So there's a lot of different explanations for that. So I want to touch on something. If you haven't seen the video on water, I highly suggest that you see that one about how much water I suggest that you have per day. So which is typically about a gallon of water. One big thing I want you to understand is that when you're losing fat, so when we're talking about this whole program in terms of water fluctuation on this idea, we're talking about actually losing fat. Okay, so you have a fat cell. So a fat cell is a certain amount that you have in your body, and over time it's been filled with fat and then expands, right? So when you are trying to lose fat, you have to understand this concept. Over time, the fat cell is going to push some of this fat out, and depending on how quickly you lose the fat, if you're aggressively eating well, getting rid of toxins in your body and exercising, then the fat's going to come out of there pretty quickly, but the cell is still there. So if the fat's out of it, the next thing that gets put in there is water for a while. So because the cell is actually still there. So if you think about a balloon, if you had a tight balloon and you blew it up and with all this air, and then you let the air out, you see that the balloon's still expanded? So now that that expanded balloon's there, it now gets filled with water. One big concept I want you to understand is that water weighs more than the fat that was in there. So your weight can actually go up for a little bit while that fat cell starts to shrink and the water gets it out of there. So is that a natural thing to happen? Definitely yes. Is it a problem when you look at the scale and you get frustrated? Definitely yes. So that's where a lot of my patients will say, oh my gosh, I was doing so well, what happened? I plateaued. It's because you lost so much fat through all these cells that now it got filled with water. So after a certain amount of time, depending on what you do with movement, keeping consistent with your water, how much salt you have, a whole lot of different variables, those will kind of catch up. So just be patient. A lot of people want this linear line of I lost fat and it went this way, but really fat loss is kind of like that. So keep the faith. Don't get so discouraged off the scale. Remember, we like to use body composition so we understand how much fat, water, and muscle you have to really see what's going on. If you have any questions about this video, please let me know. Keep the faith, keep working hard, and to reach your goals.